Good day everyone, I am Reah Mae Laurel together with Canskie Gabucay, Elvie Javier and Kristine Julian. And we are here to report about communication for work purposes. At the end of this chapter, we are expected to create clear, coherent, and effective communication materials, present ideas persuasively using appropriate language registers, tone, facial expressions, and gestures, and adapt awareness of audience and context in presenting ideas in communicating ideas. But before we proceed to our report, let us first unlock the terms. Workplace. It is a location where someone works for their employer or themselves, or a place of employment. It can range from home office to a large office building or factory. Employees, on the other hand, is an individual who was hired by an employer to do a specific job, or a worker who gets paid by a wage or annual salary for a set of job. Communication. It is simply the act of transferring information from one place, person, or group to another. Every communication involves at least one sender, a message, and a recipient. Last, body language. It refers to the nonverbal signal that we use to communicate. Workplace communication. It is the transmitting of information between one person or group and another person or group in an organization. It can include emails, text messages, voicemails, notes, and etc. It is also very important to companies because it allows companies to be productive and operate effectively. Employees can experience an increase in morale, productivity, and commitment if they are able to communicate up and down the communication chain in an organization. According to Effectio, communication ensures the operation of the workplace, and it is the quality of communication that can significantly affect the results of work. Improving communication can be done by choosing the use of signs or symbols common to the participants of the communication process, which is not always just the language, but also pictures, gestures, and etc., resulting from the company's common culture and experience. Gestures or pictures can be used to better explain the message to the employee. Successful communication is well thought out and purposefully presented because quality communication is the basis for the success of work. The advantages of effective communication at the workplace. First, employees work better and faster. When your employees have the information they need to do their jobs well, they can do their jobs faster. Your employees won't misinterpret important details because the details are clearly provided. They approach tasks more assuredly, knowing the steps to successful completion. Effective communication minimizes time-wasting misunderstandings, and it helps your employees know what is expected of them. It enables them to prioritize tasks based on your direction. In this way, the payoff for your investment in employees is greater. Second is more loyalty and motivation. Employees who relate to your company work to defend your organization's future. Effective communication strategies build a sense of identification between your employees and business. Employees who identify with an organization's value and goals are loyal and hardworking. Because you've engaged them in your company's mission, your employees promote your company's product and services with enthusiasm. They preserve your company's image by presenting themselves in a way that echoes that image. Third is increase employee satisfaction. Effective communication fosters pleasant relationship in your workplace, which promotes a positive business environment. Employees who are communicating well with one another feel more joy at work. When your employee brings a concern to a supervisor, he knows the supervisor is listening and responsive. In addition, effective communication breaks down barriers as communication problems based on culture, personality, and experience are overcome. In this way, your workplace embraces the diversity of employees and make them feel welcome. Fourth is boost customer satisfaction. When communication is effective at your workplace, customers have a more satisfying experience doing business with your company. Co-workers communicate professionally in front of your customers. They know where to keep customers' files and who will be handling them. They know how to greet customers and make them feel important. Your employees have specific protocols in place to resolve conflict. With these measures in place, your customers have a friendly experience that they can share with others, and this should have a direct impact on the bottom line. So, why is communication in the workplace important? Effective communication in the workplace is an integral part of company success. Quality communication in the workplace can eliminate unnecessary problems and promote better performance. The ability to communicate effectively in the workplace can increase overall productivity and create a strong team. If employees consult with each other and consider the views of others, they will be interested in cooperating more and finding the best solution together. By creating good communication, managers can better understand the talents and skills of their employees. Then, give clear instructions to the people who are best suited to the task, thus increasing the overall effectiveness of each particular project.
4 different types of workplace communication and how to improve in each area. Words are only a small portion of how we communicate with one another, yet the value of other forms of communication is often overlooked. Learn more about 4 different types of communication and how using them effectively can improve performance, morale, teamwork, and success in your business. Verbal or in-person communication. Whenever possible, use face-to-face communication in the workplace to eliminate many of the misunderstandings that can occur. Speaking directly with someone in person allows both of you to see and hear the bigger picture. Body language and facial expression. Your body language and facial expression play a vital role in how effective or ineffective you are at communicating with staff members. Eye contact makes people feel acknowledged as they talk and listen. A relaxed stance with your arms by your sides encourages employees to feel comfortable in a meeting. If you rehearse what you're going to say before a meeting, your employees will receive your words more positively if your facial expression and body language don't put them on the edge or the defensive. Phone conversations. Use of the phone is a common part of everyday business. Some people enjoy talking to team members by phone. Others dislike it so much that they put it off until the last minute. If the staff you lead is remote and spread throughout the state, country, or world, the phone will be a vital communication tool. You can positively impact the effectiveness of your phone communication by doing 3 simple things. Smile while you talk. It sounds silly, but it gives your voice a friendlier tone. Take notes before the conversation and use them to ensure you cover all points. Finally, speak clearly and slowly so your words are understood. Written communication. Emails, memos, and notes are common form of written communication. Of all 4 communication styles, this is the one that can lead to the most misunderstandings. People often read between the lines or feel that there are implied messages or emotions in written form of communication. In a workplace situation, This should and can be avoided. Before you send an email to your employees, distribute a memo or post an important notice on the staff bulletin board. A business coach or mentor can look over your written communication and provide constructive criticism and helpful suggestions. Frozen or static. Language is literally frozen in time and form. It does not change. This type of language is often learned and repeated by rote. Examples include biblical verses and prayers. Formal or regulated. This style is impersonal and often follows a prescriptive format. The speaker uses complete sentences, avoids slang, and may use technical or academic vocabulary. Example, have not instead of haven't. Consultative or professional. This is the register used when consulting an expert, such as a teacher or doctor. The language used is more precise. Example, ma'am or sir, Mr., Miss, Mrs., and doctor. Casual or group. This register is conversational in tone. It is the language used among and between friends. Words are general rather than technical. This register may include more slang and colloquialisms. Intimate or personal. The language used by lovers. It is also the language used in sexual harassment. This is the most intimate form of language. It is best avoided in public and professional situations.
Hi, I'm Kristine, and I'll be presenting 5 ways to make the audience the star of your presentation. First, delve deep into the audience psyche. Unfortunately, the majority of speakers start preparing for their presentation by firing up the laptop, opening PowerPoint, and typing. The audience is an afterthought. Step away from the computer. Before you start crafting one word of your presentation, you must get into the head of each audience member. Although it's important to understand their demographics, psychographics, and what makes them toss and turn in the wee hours of the night, it's equally important to understand what they believe about your message. Answer these 3 questions to dive into your audience head. First, what do they already know about your topic? Second, what misconceptions do they have about your message? And third, what areas of your message will they resist? Addressing those 3 questions during your presentation, let your audience know that you understood them and that their point of view mattered to you as you crafted your message. Second way is to get clear on your presentation promise. Seth Godin said, "A presentation that doesn't seek to make change is a waste of time and energy." The presentation promise is deeper than the traditional WIIFM, "What's in it for me?" statement, but instead answer one simple question: how will your audience change as a result of hearing you speak? How can you make their lives easier, help them grow, or do something better, faster, or more efficient than ever before? Give your best ideas away for free. No strings attached. This sounds counterintuitive, but creating immense value for the audience is the best way to turn audience members into co-collaborators, supporters, and even fans. The third way is to underwhelm them with data. Presentations have evolved into a big data dump. Speakers cram as much information as possible into their presentation because the more information you give, the more of an expert you are. But this is wrong. The more information you give, the more overwhelmed your audience feels, and the less likely you live up to that presentation promise. As an expert, it's easy to give too many details that, while interesting to you, don't support your core message. Be ruthless in editing. In a piece of information, a story, or a statistic does not lather back to your promise. It needs to go. The fourth way is active action. Have you ever sat through a presentation and thought, "Fascinating, but now what?" The content was great, The stories were compelling and the arguments sound. But what do you do with all of that new information? As a speaker, it's not enough to inform. You must also show the audience how to take action. Answer the question of, what do I do with this? For them. Every point that you make in your speech should have an action the audience can take that moves them closer to the presentation promise. It's even more powerful if the audience can take at least one of those actions during your speech. If you're giving a presentation on social media, have people send a tweet speaking about goal setting, give the audience an opportunity to set a goal, or get them into the habit of taking action. The last way is to invite interaction. Human beings are meaning-making machines. We co-create meaning through the relationships we have with others. Whether you're speaking to 10, 100, or even thousands of people, you're creating a relationship with each one of those individuals. You don't want to be the one who does all the talking, even if you're the speaker. As you create your presentation, think strategically about how to involve the audience. Tell a story that fires up the mirror neurons, so they feel like a part of your tale. Create activities that connect them with your fellow audience members. Ask them questions and pause to let them respond. The more the audience is involved in your presentation, the more memorable and valuable your message is. As you prepare for the next presentation, remind yourself who you are serving. Place the audience at the centerpiece of your speech, and you make the audience the star of your presentation. Persuasion becomes easier, relationships deepen, and you become their to-go expert.
Hi, I'm Elvie, and I'm here to share with you the components of communication in a workplace. There are 5 components to any communication, and the 6th that is overall environment of the workplace in which the communication takes place. First, the individual sending the message. The sender must present the message clearly and with enough detail so that the receiver shares meaning with the sender. Second is the context for the message. The context is that the message is delivered with the sender of the message. Context involves nonverbal communication such as gestures, body language, facial expressions, and elements such as tone of voice. Most of the context for a message is only available when the receiver can see and hear the message sender. Email and instant messages emoticons, for example, are a poor substitution as the sender formulates them without input from the receiver. Another piece of the context is the emotions that are involved in a communication circle. Is the sender angry? Is the receiver indifferent to the content of communication or disdainful of the sender? Normal human emotions affect whether a message is successfully shared. Third is the person receiving the message. The receiver must listen carefully and intently, ask questions for clarity, and paraphrase to ascertain that the receiver shares meaning with the sender. If the receiver trusts the sender, the chances for effective communication increase. Fourth is the delivery method you choose. The delivery method should be selected based on the medium most effective to convey the meaning of the message. Since communication methods are so diverse since the dawn of the computers and mobile devices, decisions about the delivery method have become more complex. The delivery method must suit the communication needs of both the sender and the receiver. Communication methods include verbal communication, instant messages, email, letters, signs, posters, videos, screenshots, telephones, notes, forms, written documents, and more. These methods will continue to expand and employ expectations for instant communication about everything having to do with their work will continue to grow. In-person communication has increased in importance, especially for organizational information that might call for change, provide employer recognition, or allow for the on-the-spot questions. In-person communication is also favored because employees have access to the component context. Lastly is the content of the message. The content of the message should be clear and presented and described in enough detail to obtain understanding from the receiver. If the message content resonates and connects, on some level, with the already held beliefs of the receiver, it is most effective.